contribution today is going to be 8 words that don't mean what white people think they mean. This is like specifically, usually people, like white people on the internet, that fight on the internet, these are usually the words that they get confused when they're doing their internet arguments. Okay, so I'm just going to go into it. First word, ad hominem. Okay, what ad hominem actually means is when you're having an argument with somebody, and instead of defending their argument, they just make attacks on your character. So if somebody's like, hey, I think that hot dogs are gross, and they're like, hot dogs aren't gross, you're just ugly. That's ad hominem. They're attacking you instead of the argument. Okay, now what white people seem to think ad hominem is just when somebody points out the flaws in your argument. Sorry, but that's just what that is. It's an argument. It's a debate. If you got stupid ideas, somebody's going to go, hey, did you know that's stupid? And it's not an ad hominem. Because if they explain why exactly and your reasons are flawed, then that's what the purpose of a debate is. Okay. And the second word is politically correct, or political correctness. And what political correctness is a language that is used to not offend the most people. So it's like the least offensive language possible to offend the least amount of people. So we want the most amount of people unoffended as possible. That's what politically correct language is. Language used to not offend people. And now what white people think political correctness is this huge oppressive force that is stopping them from saying the really crappy things they want to say, and it's basically just ruining. It's this evil thing that's ruining the 21st century. Just this like evil monster that like, instead of protecting people from oppressive language, it's oppressing the people that are not affected by this marginalization. The people that usually tend to have a problem with political correctness are people that are not affected by that particular language. And see, that's the thing with white men on the internet, they tend to be like, oh my gosh, I'm so powerful because I'm not offended. I have that superpower of not being offended. Well, that's because most of the jokes and the offensive things are not directed towards you. It's like almost like this, the language that political correctness tries to protect us from is oppressive towards a certain people. Who would have thunk? And the thing is, people are always like, oh, well, it's a killer of comedy. Listen, I'm gonna let you know a thing. If the only way you think you can be funny is by using oppressive language towards marginalized people, guess what? I've got news for you. You're not funny. If you can't actually make jokes that are clever and the only substance to your jokes are shock value, like, oh my god, that's so funny, you said something that is really rude, then you're not funny, sorry. Next word. My third word actually ties into my last word, and that is freedom of speech. What freedom of speech actually means is that the government, the United States of America government, cannot arrest you or throw you in jail for whatever language that whatever thing you happen to say. What white people seem to think freedom of speech means is that you can literally say anything you want, regardless of how terrible it is, without any sort of repercussions. And sorry, but that's not the way that works. You can't just say, oh, I hate illegal immigration, I hope all those Mexicans die on their way to America, and then I go, hey, that's messed up what you just said, and you go, well, freedom of speech. That does not protect you in that instance. Freedom of speech is literally the only thing that can protect you from the government. Me, a fellow person, also has freedom of speech, so I can say, hey, that was shitty. Freedom of speech is not freedom from consequences. So, you are free from the government throwing you in jail for what you're saying, but you are not free from your peers disagreeing with you and thinking that you're a horrible person because of what you just said. Sorry. Alright, my fourth word is irony. Irony means that, or something is ironic when it is the exact opposite of what was expected. So, let's say I wanted to buy a bunch of cats on the internet because I'm having a mice problem. I don't know why you can get cats on the internet in this example, but You can. And so I get these cats shipped to my house. Once again, I don't know why this, I don't know what universe this is. So I get these cats shipped to my house, and when I open the box expecting cats, I get more mice. And I'm like, wow, this is ironic. Because what the expected thing was for me to get cats to get rid of the mice, but instead, more mice were added to my problem. How ironic. What isn't ironic is somebody pointing out the double standards that exist in our society. Usually people use it when they say, I find it ironic that you want to fight racism, but yet you always say all these horrible things about what white people have done and their privilege. That is not ironic. That is just those people pointing out something that is true. You do not know what irony means. It is not, you can't use it in that situation. Sorry. Like, you just sound like you don't know what that word means. And you don't! Next word. Fifth word is hypocrisy. People tend to throw this word around loosely because, okay, so it's not so much that people are using this word, it's not so much that people don't know what this word means, so much as you're not using it correctly. People think that what a hypocrite or hypocrisy tends to mean is that somebody saying that you should abide by a set of moral values or rules and them completely doing the exact opposite of that. What that dictionary definition does not account for, though, is different circumstances. People are going to react differently to different circumstances based on those circumstances. You feel? And that's not hypocritical. Like, say if I'm being attacked by a man that's bigger than I am, you know? I'm a reel back, and I'm gonna punch him square in his face, probably kick him in his nuts, and if I have a weapon, I'm gonna just, you know. However, if in that same situation, it's a small child attacking me, if I don't punch that child in the face, kick that child in their genital area, and then hit them with a weapon, I'm not a hypocrite. I'm just understanding that different situations cause for different reactions. Okay? So when somebody says, again, the same example, people usually use it in the sense like, oh, you're a hypocrite because you want, you know, racism to exist, but yet you're separating us, telling us all, you know, about our privilege, etc., etc., you're a hypocrite. That's not the case. They are pointing out different circumstances and therefore having different reactions. There is a double standard and they're pointing that out. That is not hypocrisy. Once again, sorry.